Good afternoon. I'm Shannon Knutson, nursing student at Indiana State University, and this is a health education presentation discussing adult obesity in the United States for Community Health Nursing Course 444. First, we will discuss the learning objectives for this presentation. At the end of this presentation, you will know what is obesity. We'll have you take a pre-test. What is the current prevalence of obesity in the United States? What are the identifying genetic, biologic, and environmental contributors to weight status? What are the health risks associated with obesity? How does eating well and becoming active prevent obesity? I'll have you take a post-test, and then we'll review the resources that were used during this presentation. So let's get started. First, we'll define what obesity is. Obesity is having too much body fat in the body. In the United States, obesity has risen to epidemic levels. It is a complex health concern that results from many factors. How we determine who is normal weight, overweight, obese, or severely obese is by the body mass index, BMI. A normal BMI is 18.5 to 24.9. This is a normal weight. For adults considered overweight, it's 25 to 29.9. Obese range is 30 to 34.9. And for severely obese is 35 and above. Now we'll have you take a pre-test to see how much you know before we move on with the presentation. So below this video, you'll see a link that looks just like this. Pause the video. When you're done, come back and we'll move on with the presentation. Thank you for taking the pretest. Now we'll move on to what is the current prevalence of obesity in the United States. Obesity is a disease that affects 42% of adults aged 20 and over in the United States, which amounts to more than 72 million people. About 32% of American men and about 36% of American women are obese. This means 2 out of 5 adults in the U.S. are obese. The United States is the most obese country in North America, with 36.2% of its population having a body mass index of over 30. Identifying markers to obesity is genetic, biologic, and environmental factors. Many factors influence body weight. Genes, though this effect is small, prenatal and early life influences, poor diets, too much television watching, too little physical activity and sleep, and our food and physical activity environment. So what exactly is tipping the scales? Regular intake of excessive calories. The body stores these excess calories as body fat, and over time, the extra pounds add up. Eat fewer calories than the body burns, weight goes down. Genetics play a lesser role in obesity than most people want to believe. Rather than obesity's sole cause, genes seem to increase the risk of weight gain and interact with other risk factors in the environment, such as unhealthy diets and inactive lifestyles. And healthy lifestyles can counteract these genetic effects. Prenatal and postnatal influences. Pregnant mothers who smoke or who are overweight may have children who are more likely to grow up to be obese adults. Excessive weight gain during infancy also raises the risk of adult obesity. Being a breastfed infant may lower the risk of obesity as an adult. Unhealthy diets, large meals high in refried grains, red meats, unhealthy fats, and sugary drinks play one of the largest roles in obesity. Whole grains, vegetables, fruits, and nuts seem to help with weight gain or weight control and also help prevent chronic disease. These foods are severely lacking in the Western diet. Sedentary lifestyles. Watching TV is a strong risk factor. The exposure to food and beverage advertising can influence what people eat. These commercials on TV will influence you to eat things that you normally would not eat. Sitting and watching TV for many hours is not an active way to burn the calories. Another risk factor to obesity on the rise in the U.S. is lack of adequate sleep. An American adult should get 8 hours of sleep nightly. Our toxic environment, the physical and social environment in which people live, plays a huge role in the food and activity choices we make. In the United States, this environment has become toxic to healthy living. The endless and unavoidable marketing of unhealthy foods and sugary drinks, the lack of safe areas for exercising, the junk food sold at schools, work, and at the corner store. This all added up makes it tough for Americans to make healthy choices. So what are the health risks? Diabetes, cardiovascular disease to include heart attacks, strokes, hypertension, cancer, depression, reproduction. Infertility is high in patients that are obese. Cognitive disorders, musculoskeletal disorders. Our joints can't handle that excessive weight. NASH-related cirrhosis of the liver. The fat stored in the liver causes liver damage just as if you're drinking too much alcohol. So, the bottom line, obesity harms every aspect of health, from shortening life and contributing to chronic conditions such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease, to interfering with sexual function, breathing, mood, and social interactions. Obesity isn't a permanent condition. Diet, exercise, medications, and even surgery can lead to weight loss. It is much harder to lose weight than it is to gain it. Prevention of obesity begins at an early age and extends across a lifespan and can vastly improve individual and public health, reduce suffering, and save billions of dollars each year in healthcare costs. So, how does eating well and becoming active prevent obesity? Stock the refrigerator and pantry with vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and other nutritious foods, keeping to a minimum low-quality foods and drinks like sugary sodas, sweets, and super processed foods. Try to eat your dinner with family every evening. Create a home where being active daily is the normal. Walking or biking to work. Planning fun, active outings with family and friends. Keeping TV and other screen times to a minimum. Set aside 30 minutes every day for a daily routine exercise where your heart rate is increased and you break a sweat. Get enough sleep, since healthy sleep has been linked to healthy weight. Let's take the post test to see how much you've learned during this presentation. Pause the video, click the link, and when you're done, come back and we'll review the resources. Thank you for taking the post test. The resources used to assist with this presentation is cdc.gov Obesity in Adults, healthypeople.gov 2020, and healthypeople.gov 2030. If you need further research and help to guide you on your obesity, weight loss, or healthy eating journey, please visit these sites. And always remember, good resources will help you in your weight loss journey. Thank you for joining my presentation.